tell us something about what is immigration law? Because we are, it's Latin and Greek for us. We don't know because there are no books. Bombay University doesn't have a course. There are no certificate course available. So how did you do, or what are these laws? We would like to know something about that.
Unfortunately, India also do not have an immigration law. Few years ago, before independence, perhaps it was okay because people were not wanting to come here. In fact, we all wanted to go abroad, England, America. But now, people are coming here, foreigners are coming here. African students come here to study. Chinese people come here for business. Even people from Europe, America, Canada, they come here and establish business. So we must have an immigration law, but we do not have it. And when I started reading US immigration laws, I realized that how vast this field is. It is not just applying for a visitor's visa that you want to go there as a tourist or a businessman or a student. US immigration law, should I go in bit detail?
Sir, that is why they are here.
Columbus discovered America in 1492. At that time, India had its golden days. In fact, Columbus had set sail to find out a shorter route to come to India, because Europe wanted Indian mari masala, this spices, and silk. So he had thought that I will go from this way, and because the world is round, so I will reach India quicker. He landed on the shore of America, and till he died, he was under the impression that he has found a new route to go to India. Europeans, when they learnt that a new country is found and which is wealthy, they all rushed to America. Initially, for a few hundred years, there was no restriction in entering America. Anybody could go there. Slowly and gradually, after people went there and settled there, they felt that if we will allow others to come, we will have to contribute, they will share from us. So they started enacting laws to prevent people coming from entering USA. First, they imposed a head tax. If you want to enter America, you will have to pay 50 cents, which was increased to $1, then $8. It went on increasing. Today also, if you want to go to America, you will have to pay visa processing fees. Then they directed the captains of the ships who were bringing people to America that you must check every passenger whether he has minimum $15. Then only you are allowed to board your ship. Today also, if you want to go to USA, you have to show that you are financially well off. Then they impose law that okay, you are a convict, you are suffering from some disease, you are prostitute, you are beggar, we will not allow you. Today also there are about 100 and odd such things. If you possess them, you will not be allowed to enter America. Slowly and gradually, then gold was found in California. So Chinese people rushed to America to work in the gold mines or to own them. So they enacted Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882, and they prevented Chinese from coming there and working to USA. That law prevented Chinese from acquiring US citizenship. Then Japanese people started coming there to work there. So they entered into a gentleman's agreement with the Japanese government and asked the Japanese government that if somebody from your country wants to come to America to work, don't issue them passport. So they prevented Japanese. We Indians were prevented as far back as 1965 from sponsoring our immediate relatives to come to USA permanently. So those who had gone there and settled there, they could not sponsor their relatives to come and stay there permanently with them. That embargo was raised in the year 1965. So different laws were enacted preventing, putting curbs on people entering USA. All those laws were then combined, and in the year 1952, Immigration and Nationality Act was enacted. Under that act, they enacted two types of visa. If you want to go to USA for a short duration as a tourist, as a businessman, or work there for some time, or go there as a religious priest, or you want to go there to do some acting, then you have to obtain non-immigrant visa, because your intention is not to stay there permanently, not to immigrate. And people who want to go there and stay there permanently, they were required to have immigrant visa. Now under this non-immigrant visa, there are several categories starting from A to Z. B1 visa is for business people, B2 visa is for visitors, F1 visa is for student, M1 visa is for student, K1 visa is for fiancé, R1 visa is for religious priest, I visa is for newspaper reporters. So all these, what purpose you want to visit USA, you have to apply accordingly to those visa. And for each type of visa, there is a particular requirement. When you apply for a non-immigrant visa, the US immigration law says that the consular officer should presume that this person who is applying for a temporary to go to USA has an intention to stay there permanently. So you have to satisfy the officer that you don't want to stay there permanently. This is little bit difficult, and that is why I fail at the first instance. Those who want to go there permanently, they have to apply for immigrant visa, and these immigrant visas can be had in 10 different ways. If you have your near relatives, husband, wife, father, mother, son, daughter, they can sponsor you, and then you can immediately go there. If you have little bit distant relative, there are 4 different family categories under which they can apply. If somebody wants to employ you in America, American company, they can petition for you under employment based preference categories. There are 4 different employment based categories. If you are harassed in your own country and you want to run away and seek political asylum elsewhere, America will give you political asylum, and you can then stay there permanently. Where there is anarchy, some famine and such things, you can also seek refugee status. If you join USA military, then also you can stay there permanently. So these are all different types of immigrant visa by which you can go and stay there in America permanently. Now each of these category of immigrant visa has a quota. So every year a particular number of immigrant visa is issued, and that is distributed amongst the whole of the world. Now since from India large number of people are applying for immigrant visa under the family category, today if your brother who is a US citizen applies for your immigrant visa, for your green card, you will have to wait for 15 to 20 years to receive the visa, because you have to stand in the queue. Because of all these reasons, you can't wait for 20 years to just go and meet your brother and start a new life there. By the time you will grow old. So because of all these reasons, people start some other ways. They go on tourist visa, then illegally start staying there. So this is what is happening. So I learned all these things, and now I am trying to help our own people to go there. There is one category of visa which is known as employment based 5th preference category, under which if you invest $500,000 in a government recognized company, you are granted a green card. Along with you, your wife or husband and your children below the age of 21 years, they are also granted the immigrant visa. Last year from China, 8,000 and more people applied for this type of EB5 visa. They invested and they got their green cards. Indians were not aware about this. So last year hardly 100 Indians had applied for such type of visa. I have been propagating this EB5 visa since last about 5-7 years. I have been holding seminars, conference, expos. I was also invited to New York this May to give a talk on this. And if any of you want to know this particular branch of law, you are all welcome. I will teach you this thing, because if you get one investor, you can get about $10,000. All that you have to do is impress upon the person who is desirous of going to USA, tell him that there is a way if you have money, and then we can arrange for these things. So this is what is USA immigration laws. Two type of visa, non-immigrant, immigrant. Non-immigrant, there are different categories according to for what purpose you want to go there. Immigrant, there are different ways to go there. Then people who do something wrong, people who enter there illegally, they have to apply for waiver, because otherwise they are deported or they are not allowed to re-enter. So the field is very large, unimaginable. People enter into false marriages. If my brother is there in USA, he has become US citizen, and he wants to invite me to be with him for permanently staying in America. And if he files petition, it will take 15-20 years. So what he will do is, he will take a divorce from his wife. I will take divorce from my wife. My brother will marry my wife. I will marry his wife. And then those two people will sponsor us. So we can go there within 6 to 8 months. Once we go there, then we will again take divorce and again remarry. Now this thing started, many people started doing this. There were advertisements in the newspapers that bride available for $50,000.
Bride wanted.
So then the US government enacted a new law. It's called Marriage Fraud Amendment Act. If it is found that you have married some US citizen for the purpose of getting a green card, then your application will be denied, you will be fined up to $50,000, and you can also be imprisoned. Despite that, people still do that. People pay 50 lakhs rupees to just get an illegal entry into America. They take you from here to Nepal, from Nepal to Bangkok, from there to Italy, then to either Canada or to Mexico, and from the border they make you sneak into the USA at the night time. Many people die. They do all these things, they take all these risks because here you earn 1 rupee, there you earn $1, that is 70 rupees. Ordinary sweeper also gets $10 an hour. And if lawyers are the most highly paid people there, and I have visited USA, I do not, I have stopped counting, more than 60-70 times, and the attorneys there tell me that why don't you come and settle here, you will become multi-millionaire. Financially, if you have something there, if you are prepared to work hard, if you are intelligent, there is no limit for you. USA is a country where Africans were brought as slaves against their wishes, and you see, one of them became the president of that country. So that is a country of opportunity. It has plenty to offer to you. You should know how to take it. And therefore, I tell my clients, I tell when I address people like you, that as Britishers came here as a tradesman to do business here, and they ruled over us for 200 years. Why can't we all go there and do business, and then once one of us can become the president of USA? It's not impossible.